many of the behaviors, the experiences, the activities that Trump is engaged in that raise serious questions. And his continuing claim that he can't release his tax returns because he's under audit has been disproved repeatedly. He clearly has something to hide. We don't know exactly what it is, but we're getting better guesses about what it probably is.
Hillary Clinton on her brand new campaign plane, nicknamed Hill Force One, en route to Tampa, has the press right there. And I guess Mrs. Clinton has decided that the best defense is a good offense, to go on the offensive so she doesn't have to answer questions about her own troubling record. To talk more about this, we're very pleased to be joined via Skype from Las Vegas by political commentator Wayne Allyn Root. Wayne was the Libertarian vice presidential nominee in 2008, but he is the author of the new book, Angry White Male: How the Donald Trump Phenomenon is Changing America and What We Can Do to Save the Middle Class. So, Wayne, you have that book, Angry White Guy. Is Mrs. Clinton just an angry white woman?
Well, first of all, you know from all the times I've been on with you, JD, I am an angry white male, but a smiling, happy, optimistic angry white male, kind of like Ronald Reagan. You notice the smile on the cover of my book, and whenever I'm with you, I have great hopes for the future of America. I'm just angry because some people are trying to destroy it, like Hillary Clinton. And I couldn't have summed it up better myself. I'm very proud of you. That's all this is. When you've got nothing, you attack the other guy. Hillary's the one who has so much undercover. Her Clinton Foundation record should be released. And I've written articles about the fact that Donald Trump should say that. I'll release my tax returns at the exact moment that you release your Clinton Foundation records and your Benghazi records and your health records. All of those should be released. Hillary's obviously not well. She had another terrible coughing fit yesterday. She's a sick woman, and she's hiding lots and lots of scandal and crimes, and she's asking Trump about his tax returns. Listen, I can tell you right now what the deal with Trump's tax returns. Want to tell you what my guess is? I'm a businessman. My tax returns are really complicated, but I'm not worth $10 billion. I'm worth a measly couple of million. Donald's returns must be like 1,000 pages thick, incredibly complicated, and it's scary to release that to the public. A Democrat who works for government, JD, they have a tax return 2 pages thick. She makes her lousy government salary. She's got nothing to report. It's easy. You've always got a Republican businessman on the defensive. We're the ones with everything to risk if the average person doesn't understand all the many complicated things in our business lives, in our tax return. So for that reason alone, it's always a Democrat asking us to release ours. Easy for them to release theirs. They have one salary, and it comes from government.
Well, you know, it's interesting because both Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton were on Good Morning America today, albeit in recorded interviews, and they were taking aim at each other after Mrs. Clinton posited the theory that Mr. Trump's visit to Mexico incited a diplomatic incident and that he, in fact, quote, choked. Now, watch and listen to this exchange.
He went down with a mission. It's been the mission of his whole campaign from the very first day to demonize immigrants, to call Mexicans rapists and criminals, to do everything he could to stir up all kinds of bad feelings about hardworking people. And he didn't raise it, so he did choke.
Did you choke?
So let me just tell you about choking. I don't choke. She chokes. Look at the deal she's made. She's responsible for so many bad things that have happened to our country.
So the back and forth continues, but Wayne, I'm interested not only in the back and forth. This is the first chance we've had to talk to you since Mr. Trump made that trip down to Mexico. Are you in that group that called that visit, quote, presidential?
Yeah, I thought he looked great, and I guess others agree with me. If you look at all the latest polls, he's ahead. So, you know, I'm the guy who's come on Newsmax as a cheerleader for Donald for the last, 2 months? Well, the polls showed he was down double digits and 5 points and 6 points and 12 points. I think there was even a 15-pointer and losing every battleground state. And I kept telling everybody, don't worry about it, man. He's the whisper candidate. Everybody likes him. They just whisper it. They don't tell someone on the phone. Now he's ahead by, I believe it was 1 or 2 this morning on CNN poll, which is amazing, by 1 in the Reuters poll, amazing. He's ahead in a whole bunch of other polls. Things are looking great for Donald. And as far as choking, not being on the campaign trail for 2 weeks, Hillary, that's choking. When you finally come back on the campaign trail, you can't get through a speech without coughing the whole speech. That's choking. Handing over the Iran deal to Iran, along with a ransom of $400 million, that's choking. Giving them money to fight, to fund terrorism all over the world. How about Libya, destroying Egypt for a short while? Hillary was in the middle of all those. How about the GDP of 1.2%? Our economy is crumbling. She supports Obama's policies that got us here. That's choking. And then calling Donald a choke artist because he mentioned that not everybody from Mexico is perfect. You know what came out over the weekend? Fact. Of the 50 most violent cities in the world, 48 of them are in Latin America. Donald's right. There are murderers and rapists coming from Central America and Mexico and Venezuela and Brazil. They're not all nice people. Some of them are nice people, but a lot of them are coming from the single most violent murder capitals in the world.
In addition to going to Mexico last week, over the weekend, Donald Trump visited Detroit, and he made his appeal directly to the African-American community. Let's watch and listen.
We're all brothers and sisters, and we're all created by the same God. We must love each other and support each other, and we are in this all together, all together. I fully understand that the African-American community has suffered from discrimination and that there are many wrongs that must still be made right.
So, Wayne, did Donald do Detroit right?
He did, JD. You know, the angry white male himself is telling you the key to this election is actually black voters. And I believe that black voters are very receptive to Donald's message. Number one, you know, I was just on CNN the other day saying this, that Hillary is completely unlikable, but even more so in the black community. She's like Obama with none of the positives. There's no way they're coming out for her. They don't like her. She's boring. She's not nice. She's nasty. She's not exciting. She's got no charisma. She's got no nothing. She's a lousy communicator. She doesn't connect with the black community. So it's there for the taking for Donald. Now, I'm not high. I don't think he's winning the black vote. What I'm trying to say is I think he'll get around 15% of the black vote, certainly 10 to 15%. Anywhere in that range would be a modern Republican record. Combine that with a lower turnout for black voters. I think that's the key ingredient. She may get 85% of the black vote. She won't get 92, 93, 94 like Obama, but she'll get millions less total voters. And Donald Trump will expand his vote totals, I believe, among white voters. So he'll bring out more to the polls. She'll bring out less to the polls. That's Donald's key to victory. And I do believe the black vote will put him over the top.
You know, it's interesting. In that situation in Detroit, CBS News cut the feed of Mr. Trump's visit to that church. It was caught on a hot mic, a cameraman refusing to stop the feed. Now, you can barely hear it on this. It's captioned, but here's the way it went down Saturday in Detroit.
I'm shooting this.
Especially for you.
I'll take it.
On behalf of your life.
And so at that point, the feed was cut. Now, the pool producer for CBS responded to accusations by saying that the network was forced to pack up its cameras and leave the event. Do you believe what that CBS producer is saying?
I think we better check if there were any wire transfers from the Clinton Foundation to that CBS producer or his bosses on that day. And maybe those wires have been going on for a year now from the Clinton Foundation. Maybe that's why they so, desperately need billions of dollars, because they're giving out millions in bribes in offshore bank accounts to the media in the United States. And I'm only saying that half smiling. I'm telling you,
they don't have to pay them, do they? I mean, the biggest in-kind contribution to the Democrat nominee comes from the dominant media culture. What is it about the mindset of the alphabet networks and the major newspapers that make them so anti-Republican? Wayne, you got about 30 seconds here.
Well, a combination of two things. Number one, I've seen the numbers. They're all married. They're intermarried. The brothers, the sisters, the husbands, the wives. They work in government for Obama and Hillary, and then they work in the media. And number two, I went to Columbia with them, and they started out as ultra liberal, guilt-ridden, hate America. They're now in the media. They just don't like us, JD. I guess that's why I'm an angry white conservative male.
Angry White Male, the name of the new book from Wayne Allyn Root. We appreciate the smile and the perspective, Wayne. Thanks so much. Now, we hope you'll stay with us. John Zogby joins us to talk about the latest poll numbers. And it turns out Donald Trump received a key endorsement over the Labor Day weekend, an endorsement en masse, if you will. It comes from some folks who know whereof they speak, and we will talk about it with Patrick Murray and Pete Hoekstra. That and poll numbers with John Zogby and lots more to come, including your phone calls at 1-877-Newsmax. That's 1-877-639-7629 as we continue on this Tuesday evening.